Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you are. And welcome to another dive. We're coming at you from the Johnson Atoll Unit, Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument, diving on the western flanks of Johnson Atoll. So we are going to have a deeper dive than our last, just to the west of where we started.
You guys should have control there.
The goal is to dive down onto a paleo-geosummit and then go up what looks like a big volcanic cone, so a post-erosional volcanic cone. Right off the bat, so that should be cool. Then we're going to hop down back onto the seafloor and traverse up the carbonate platform. Hoping to see some cool critters, get some good rocks, and bring some good vibes.
squared. You know, I just brought back a very warm memory of a beloved aunt who used to sing that.
Zoom type.
This is an
Gracias.
audio slate for dive. Hotel 1935. UTC time is 22:44:00 mark.
Oh my god.
Hey Kevin, sorry I missed your excellent introduction. How deep are we going? And what's our plan for this dive again?
We're going down to about 1,900 meters deep. We're going to land in between two conical features, which I think are post-erosional volcanic cones. So big little volcanoes. Big little volcanoes, as they say. Anyway, we're going to go up one of these 200-meter high cones to the summit. Hopefully grab 4 or so rocks on the way. Then we're going to jump down. If it's really cool, maybe we'll go backwards, but I think we just jump into blue water and come down safest. And then we're going to traverse eastward, just keep heading like we did last time, all the way upslope. Around waypoint 5, we'll hit a 400-meter high cliff, so that should be some cool stuff. And then waypoint 8 is, I think, roughly where we started the last dive, which we'll see if we get there. We're shooting for a 20-hour dive, assuming the weather holds and the seabirds do not attack.
Roger.
Thanks.
No seabirds. 2 big, mini, little conical features. Right in the middle. This brings up is a hot dog a sandwich question, doesn't it?
It does. Are we making a hot dog or a sandwich?
Oh my goodness.
Coffee's just kicking in, folks.
Just to give an idea of where I'm at, every now and then I'll zone out And then on the quad view, there's a web interaction panel.
Yeah.
And so I'll just kind of go, oh, a shark, and like almost say it out loud, and then realize it's just a highlight from the last time that we just started descending like a minute ago.
Yeah, I keep seeing that highlight reel in the web view in the downstairs in the various rooms on the ship. We've got these broadcasting, and I keep going, wait, are we in the water? Did I miss a launch?
That looks familiar. It looks like I was just there yesterday.
So here's a message in the chat. Do you use 3D printed parts on the ROVs? And if so, do they survive the pressure well? Are they thermoplastic or resin based? Yeah, so what are the parts of Herc and Argus made of?
We don't have any 3D printed parts on our vehicle. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess a lot of our parts are made for durability, if you will, repeated durability. 3D printed parts are really, the technology is advancing a lot, and they're very phenomenal for, we could probably make brackets out of them or something like that, but you don't want to have any air inclusions or anything like that. So yeah, that's where that's at. So no, we don't use any 3D printed parts on the vehicle. Doesn't mean that other groups don't. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, we use some 3D printed parts on some of ours, like for our wire flyer vehicle, which is
internal to the chassis, or
no, external, like the whole fairing, the whole upper fairing or lower fairing bit is all 3D printed.
Oh.
We send it out to like an industrial, like 3D, like mold making company that has like giant 3D printers, and they came back to, yeah, and that, I mean, that thing has been around for almost 8 years or something. Been on a lot of dives and stuff. It's held up. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And on some of our other vehicles for external brackets and things like that, we use resin printed parts because you don't have any air inside. Well, you shouldn't have any air inside. It is possible to print without air inside.
Chris, and are you talking about the university that you work with?
Yeah,
Which university is that?
that's University of Rhode Island.
Oh, cool. So University of Rhode Island has their own ROVs?
No, the vehicle that I'm talking about is a ASV, kind of. It's a wire flyer. So basically, you tow a cable through the water on a big Argus-like weight, but the vehicle is attached loosely to the cable on rollers, and you tow the whole operation through the seawater, and the vehicle has dive planes on it that allow it to ascend and descend the wire very quickly. So if the ship's going at 3 knots, the vehicle can ascend and descend at like 4.5 knots. So we can do very quick vertical profiles of the water column with this thing. Yeah, some of the other vehicles we have are like a photo float. So you chuck it over the side, and it's the world's worst robot because all it does is like pump a little bit of water in and pump a little bit of water out, and just sort of maintain buoyancy just a couple meters off the seafloor. And it does it just drifts along with the current and makes single line photo mosaics and things like that.
Sounds like a better robot than I can make.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that the world's worst robot is kind of the world's best robot because it doesn't break, because there's nothing to break. It's a tube.
Exactly. I tried
Like,
sea cucumber.
yeah,
Sea cucumber has survived so long.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a super reliable vehicle. Of all the vehicles that we have, it's probably done the most dives and been the most reliable and collected the most data. So
It's a reduced essence.
exactly. World's worst robot, but a pretty darn good oceanographic sensing platform.
In your mind, what defines a robot?
Something, I don't know, something that completes a specified task with some amount of autonomy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it subscribes to Asimov's 3 rules.
Of course.
Yes, of course. Well, ours don't, but
Yeah. Herc has been taking lives left and right.
Which rule is it violating?
Imagine they draw a little blood every now and again. Some of those, you know, tight spaces with sharp objects.
It's a really nice pelagic ctenophore in the Atalanta view. Just went by. And another.
Ctenophore with a C.
I don't think there's an I, right? Isn't it CTE?
It's C-T-E-N-E.
Of course it is.
yeah, makes sense.
There's no I, no A. But and there's a C and 2 E's. But you know, that's supposed Tina.
I named my daughter Satina.
And no one has objected at all to the PH sound, to the F sound being a P spelled with a PH.
I think we've accepted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems downright normal by the time you get that far down the word.
Yeah. You're like, might as well be.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's ways you can get more entertaining scientific name spelling.
Yeah.
Like
We need to work more X's in there.
if an animal gets named after something in Wales.
Oh, man. Becomes unpronounceable. Half Latin, half Welsh. Abomination.
Meredith, do you remember the thing you said yesterday that there sounded like medulla oblongata? Because I can't remember what it was except for that it sounded like medulla oblongata.
I don't remember what it was either.
Maybe it didn't even sound like it. It just had the same number of syllables.
I think it was umbaloula. With
No,
its,
it wasn't. It wasn't an umbaloula. I know an umbaloula.
what was umbaloula's species name?
I don't know. It was yesterday. That's all I remember.
Well, a lot of the umbalulas just go by umbaloula spa because they're a particular pain to identify the species, since umbaloula don't contain any sclerites.
Raj. No, it wasn't that.
Medusazoan?
No.
Because I know I said Medusazoan yesterday because we were talking about the life cycle of corals and jellyfish. I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me. It'll come to me right when we're done with watch.
Or we'll see it. We'll see another thing of whatever it was, and you'll say it, and I'll be like, medulla oblongata. We'll find it. We're going to the same place, so we're probably going to run into the same stuff.
True. We might run into some slightly different stuff since we're starting significantly deeper, but we'll get there.
What depths do we end up at?
We are basically going to end where we started yesterday.
Okay.
Kind of connect those two lines together.
That's cool.
Hopefully without too much sand. Although I do love some good sea pens.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Penatula phosphorea?
Nope.
Okay.
I appreciate you for indulging me on this, Meredith.
It'll come to me eventually.
I'm sure one of the data loggers took a highlight just for that. Oh, there's a jelly, I think.
Tim, pass it. The answer is yes.
So there's a question in the chat about seeing the depth of Hercules right now. So if you're watching on our website, just right of the box that shows the stream, there's a technology little box. It doesn't look like the depth is showing right now, but if you click more data just at the bottom of that rectangle, it'll take you to Grafana and it'll give you more real-time data, and you'll see the depth. So right now we're about 466 meters below the water. Yeah. So yeah, click on that more data tab and you should be able to see how far we're going.
Okay, it updated. I was about to say that was off by. It was 6:34, but yeah.
I just saw another creature that we can add to our list of creatures with hard to spell names.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw a Cheetognath,
Ooh.
which is CHAETOGNATH.
Now, what sound does a GM make?
Gnath, yeah.
What's a Cheetognath?
A common name would be an arrowworm. They're a member of the zooplankton that is predatory. They get their name because it's basically translates to bristle mouth. Their head end, their mouth is this basically two hooked claw, almost hands that they use to trap and eat mostly copepods. Little squid buddy.
All right, everybody's audio levels sound pretty good, but can we do introductions anyway, just so I can make sure?
Yeah. So I am Onye, your Science Communication Fellow on board the EV Nautilus. I will be tuning into your questions that you submit on our website, and I'll pass it along to our team, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Hi there, I'm Kevin Carman, a marine geologist from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, here to discuss geology and hang out and enjoy the critters.
I'm Meredith Everett from NOAA's Northwest Fisheries Science Center, where I work on deep sea corals and sponges and their associated communities. And I'm here to examine all things deep sea coral and enjoy the geology show.
Hey, I'm Chanel Vidal. I'm a PhD student at Arizona State University, where I'm a biologist, or geologist turned biologist. Sorry. And I'm here as an ocean science intern. Crushed it.
You say that part off mic.
Hey, I'm Chris Krasnowski. I'm here as a navigator and high-resolution mapping specialist. And I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Rhode Island.
Hey folks, sit next to Chris. My name is Jess, flying her on the part of ROV team. And next to me.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I am sitting in the Atalanta chair. I am a Atalanta pilot and scientific layperson sitting next to Tim.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm sitting in the video engineering chair to Kylie's left, the dark corner over here. It's where I manage all the video feeds and check the audio levels, make sure we're recording all this cool imagery. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. All sound pretty good.
I think we sound good.
I didn't watch the recovery yesterday afternoon. Were we getting the same sort of amount diversity of midwater creatures?
Not sure.
I was too busy taking sunset pictures of the ROV coming up, the sun in the background. It's quite nice.
Likewise, I don't know.
I watch the sunset behind my eyelids.
My favorite view.
I'm guessing we got something similar. I think we're getting a few more here than we've seen on some previous dives just because we're a little closer to the atoll. So probably a little higher productivity in the water column right here than further out.
Here's a question in the chat. What pitch angles do the ROVs descend at? Is that
About the same pitch angle that they do everything at, right? About -2 degrees, -2, 3 degrees.
okay?
Yeah, we don't actively adjust that
Yeah.
on the go.
Is that because the up and vertical thruster, the up and down thruster? The vertical thruster is mounted right sort of dead center of the vehicle. It just sort of pushes the whole thing up or down.
Yeah, there's some ROVs that have, I think it's like 8 thrusters. It's like the really small little ROVs, the one they do for fun. Those have, if you add more thrusters, you can get some interesting motions that are pitch or whatnot, but we need more thrusters for that. Yes. I agree. 6 is enough for us.
Less places to lose fingers, I always say.
That's very true. A little dark.
I might have to slow down, unless, I mean, you don't have to slow down, but I can't speed up, just FYI.
No, yeah, slow down right now. I think we hit like a
Thermocline.
thermocline of some sort because I started to move there and then I started to drop faster.
Thermocline's when the water temperature changes. Halocline is when the salt amount changes. Isn't there a, what's a pictocline? That's something, isn't it?
Density.
Density, Raj. Is there other ones, other kinds of
Oh, there's
water column words for
there's
clines?
clines for days.
Bucketfuls,
Yeah.
clines. Chemocline, right? Wouldn't the
Sure.
I feel
I'll
like
buy it.
I feel like a CTD cast somebody was like, oh, that's the chemocline. Yes, yes.
That exact expression.
You know how scientists
Just
can
like
be.
As they were with twisting a mustache or something.
That's
monocle.
what I anticipated, the chemocline.
If you do that correctly with the right accent and the right mustache, you can just make up words and people accept it. The hemocline. You can
I
see
like
the
how-
blood decreasing in the ocean.
Like you have to have the right mustache, like conditional there.
Yeah. I picture Colonel Sanders.
What's a light gradient called? Photocline?
I'd buy it. I'd buy that for a nickel.
But not a dime, so increase your value.
I never saw a type of nickel.
Oh.
Could be the rare nickels, see.
Rare nickels?
Like they're old school nickels full of a lot of, never mind.
Like a $2 bill? Like it's
Kinda
rare,
like
so
that.
it has more value?
Yeah. It's like buffalo nickels or something like that. Can't remember.
Are you a coin collector? In your spare time?
I mean, I picked through my change to look for interesting coins.
Yeah. And like looked at the
Sounds
dates
like a
of
coin
them.
collector to me.
Yeah.
I do have like coin pouches and stuff. Yeah, totally am.
Yeah.
That sounds like a casual coin collector as opposed to puts them into books with like the slots with the correct shapes and goes after certain years worth of coins. And
Yeah.
I used to want to buy those collections that they'll sell like the ads for on TV, you know, it's like the commemorative 50 state quarter pack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep.
Thought that was the coolest thing when I was a kid.
Shiny.
Mostly because it's like advent calendar style looking, like a frame for every quarter. I think I just like the packaging.
Yep.
That's how the numismatists get you into the club early on, right?
Does anybody else have any like things that they collect or little hobbies type, not hobbies, not things you do, but things that you procure?
I collect little natural curiosities, so I've got a couple different birds' nests. Some
Ooh, cool.
Active or?
Just robbing cradles. I had a couple birds' nests and a whole lot of angry birds.
not active, no.
Deactivated.
Decommissioned.
Yeah.
Some rocks from the seafloor, pine cones, that kind of thing.
I collect broken bits of ROV work, and any job I've had that like has a story attached to some mechanical failure, I keep a piece of the mechanical failure and I put it all in a bin so that mostly like if I was to do like outreach, I can bring it and like have things to pass around to reference stories, you know, for myself and then to like help it mean something to somebody that might not be in this industry.
I have yeah, cool. I have a similar thing in my lab where I have a museum. Some of it's just parts that are old, but some of it are just like, you'll see some real beat up screws and burnt pieces and everyone has a story behind it.
Yes, yeah. Also, I'd love to collect buttons.
What buttons?
I just think they're all so unique and beautiful.
I do have a button collection as well.
You do? Gosh, a woman after my own heart.
Victorian glass buttons.
What?
Wow.
You're an upscale button collector. You got pictures?
Unfortunately, I do not have pictures of them. I do actually use them too. I'll sew them onto garments that I make.
Oh, beautiful. You sew?
Yep.
Oh, what do you make?
Mostly clothes. So shirts, skirts, dresses.
What's the last thing you made?
A button-down shirt.
Out of cotton or linen, or what'd you make it out of?
Cotton.
Beautiful. Did you put your pretty buttons on it?
I did.
Oh my God. I bet it looks so nice.
Yeah. It's got little funky sharks all over it.
Say more. That's really cool. What kind of sewing machine do you have?
A really old Janome that I inherited from my grandmother.
Oh, that is lovely to have like a passed down piece of machinery, especially because generally the older generation style sewing machines are all metal inside and good quality and last forever if you take good care of them, right?
Yeah, this one's like a 1984 and it's a workhorse and it just keeps going.
Hell yeah. Chanel, what do you collect?
I have a pretty aggressive rock collection. Trying to think what else. I collect saris too, like from like each state in India has like its own language and like culture and traditional like kind of sari. So I like to collect all the different ones from the different states.
That's beautiful. What do the colors mean different thing, or do the beadwork signify different things?
Yeah, it's all of it. Some of them have different beadwork, some of them have like different hand stitching, and it gets like really intricate and really beautiful. And yeah, some of them have different colors too, like unique colors to each state. Yeah, they're very cool. Eventually, I have this vision like when I'm grown up and have a house someday, to have this like clothing line in like my living room or my room, and then just hang up each sari of each state and like put them all on display. But I have to be able to afford a house first, so that's my end game, you know. I don't know, career and everything sounds nice, but like
But a place to keep your sari collection.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a worthwhile goal to want to surround yourself by the things that you feel are precious and you've collected over time, and to see them in a nicely presented way, not just to remind yourself that it's something you've collected over time, but to share with people that you share your spaces with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun thing to talk about and makes me warm inside.
Yeah.
I don't have to think that much about like other decor, because they're like so ornamented and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I just put a sari up and like that's all I need.
Right, exactly, yeah. I watched that show on YouTube, Nazrana Diaries, and it's all about, it's basically like Say Yes to the Dress, but for saris.
Ooh.
And it's, you learn about all the different like styles of beadwork and what's appropriate for certain ceremonies. And it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of meaning behind everything, like every piece of jewelry and design for like each event. It's really cool how like they're so intentional there, as if I'm not Indian. We are so intentional with like everything we wear. It feels really good.
-12, -12. We didn't lose signal, right? Because it didn't beep on the thing.
No, I didn't lose signal. It was just a weird,
Glitch.
repeatable glitch, though.
Are you seeing it on your end,
I saw that too, yeah.
Raj?
On,
Maybe I'll just tilt my camera around.
Yeah, maybe change the angle on it. Yeah, I agree. Oh, and actually we're changing the values.
Oh,
Interesting.
coming down. Well, it's always changing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll go horizontal. That's pretty close to horizontal there. I'll come back down and I'll go straight down. It's just stopping sometimes, so it's taking me a second.
Oh, yeah.
Come on down. So the range stays about the same, yeah? -10, 11 to -12, 12-ish.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll just maybe we'll fly with it a little bit tilted up there, hey? So that we will alleviate some of that stress.
You think it's in the fiber connection?
Yeah, you know how, like the other time that cable was getting jostled around and then it broke?
I know, but these are brand new.
I know, that one was brand new as per last expedition, right? Ah! And that one broke a couple of dives ago.
And it's in the connector itself, yeah? Like where that is, yeah, Raj.
Yeah, because there's that steel tube in there. Pinching the fibers if it gets pinched.
Interesting.
Another question in the chat, how deep are you diving today? So we should be starting at about 1,900 meters down and working our way up to about, which one? 1,000 meters? Okay.
doing kind of a connect the dots dive, trying to end about where we started yesterday.
Another question in the chat. Was the name you were thinking about, Kylie, the Scapellus macrolipitotis? I think that was the lanternfish.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. My brain does automatic like word association, so I think it'll just click when I hear it. Because I didn't really, didn't even choose to make it. So my brain just said, it sounds like something else you've heard, and this is how you'll remember it. But inevitably, I only remember the thing I was referencing every time. Is that a bazinga star? No, it's certainly not. It's a presingid.
Sheldon Cooper would be very happy.
Yeah, Sheldon Cooper would be very happy.
Is that a nomad cell? Almost. Not quite.
Nomadicist, right?
Yeah.
Nomadicist. I often have to like almost close my eyes and see the word spelled out in my brain before I remember it.
That
Goes
always,
for names too.
I swear it's because we're doing it auditorially. Because I've been learning, I've been trying to learn like Ukrainian and Russian, and I speak with some of the crew members sometimes, and I've practiced, and like I can't really recall it after if I've just heard it, and I've practiced that way. If I see it written down, I remember the letters and I remember the symbols and the sounds associated with them, but not just the memory of hearing something without text. So when I hear a scientific word in Latin or Greek, it's sort of the same, like, it sort of floats out of my brain if I don't have something to anchor it. You think Tim's listening in the data lab?
Possibly.
We'll
Rennie,
find out in a second, won't we?
Rennie might be.
Well, because I meant to ask Tim for an orbit button,
Oh, yeah.
so I could pull it up sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the Norb button doesn't do nothing anymore, does
No.
it?
No. Old and busted. New hotness.
Alert the press.
Chris, what's going to be our target to waypoint 2? It's going to be like a 075.
1 second. 075, yep. Nailed it. Already there?
Yeah, current send me around to the right heading. I like it.
So do I have to fight it on our way back, or can I just keep it? He said, you can keep it, honey.
I was like, I know we're going to go like generally kind of northeast-ish. No, east northeast-ish, not northeast, but you know what I mean.
Do you know what the gig E button does on Atalanta? In general,
No.
these are on. I don't turn on the edge tech ground fault because who cares? But I don't know why I have them on. Like I see them on, I leave them on, but
Yeah, I would assume it's like some type of ground fault detection on Atalanta or something like this.
yeah.
Because it's in the hotel is part of it, so
Yeah.
we could probably just look on the INI file on the GUI. Should tell us what it is.
Look on the what? On the what?
I mean, not right now. But
Oh,
when we're
I
out of the water.
didn't hear what you said though.
Oh, we can just look on like the INI file.
Any file, Raj.
See
Do
what
you
they
think it'll have like definition, or if it'll just have more reference from whoever was writing it, and they knew what it was, right? So they may not have been like, this is.
Yeah, but we comment out, you know,
Oh,
what handles it
context.
goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And do you mind if we look at the gauges one more time?
Say it again.
Do you mind if we just look at the gauges real quick?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wah, 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 wah.
So I'm reading up on ctenophores. I have a question. It says some ctenophores can have cnidocytes, the cnidarian stinging cells. If they ingest cnidarians, can they use it like as a weapon?
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
I believe so. There are
awesome.
actually a number of different organisms that can do that, where if they eat cnidarians, they can basically steal those cells whole and just move them around in their own tissue. There are nudibranchs that do that.
That's really cool.
So it's kind of like a Pokemon, one would say, or some
Yeah.
type of
Or like a Kirby.
a Kirby, yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Or like a superhero villain. Yeah.
Ctenophores are fascinating because for being basically a watery bag of goo, they can be pretty important predators in the water column, particularly of things like fish larvae.
There's the variety that have like the long kind of stringers running off the.
Yeah, those are commonly called sea gooseberries.
Okay. But those aren't stinging cells.
No, they're usually just very sticky.
Sticky cells,
Yeah.
not stingy. I just kind of grab them and reel them in.
Yep.
Coming up on 1,500 meters.
Yeah, sea gooseberries, they're the genus Pleurobrachia.
It's a fantastic name. Sea gooseberry.
What does a land gooseberry look like?
It is a round green berry that actually, like, you can see if you look up a land gooseberry, they have these kind of, they're not really stripes, it's just kind of variation in their internal texture that gives them kind of almost a stripy appearance.
Huh.
And they really do, like, if you look at a picture of a sea gooseberry in the water and then a land gooseberry, you can see the similarity.
So they're aptly named.
Yes.
I used to work at a place called Gooseberry Island. Yeah, it's like a causeway off in Massachusetts.
Gooseberries are a fruit that are very popular in the UK and never really took off as much in the US.
You guys ever had wine berries? I'm not talking about grapes.
That's great.
That's where I was going. I was
No.
like, grapes?
No, they look like raspberries, but you know how raspberry is like a matte color, dull in color. It's like a ruby, like a raspberry, but if it was like super shiny.
I have not had one. Sounds good.
They are like sweet water when they're ripe and delicious. They're on a little pricker bush, so yeah, you gotta work for them, but they're delicious.
Apparently they're invasive.
I wish they'd invade more because there's only like 1 or 2 bushes in my neighborhood.
Oh, I have had them, but I've had them as dewberries.
Oh, Raj. Share them with the deer makes you feel all Snow White-like.
All of these seem to be just a biologically natural invasive, which is to say wasn't created by Luther Burbank as opposed to Himalaya blackberry.
Sorry, who's Luther Burbank?
He was a late 19th, earliest 20th century botanist who created all of these different fruit varieties and then made it his mission to spread them everywhere, which is why Himalaya blackberry, which is one of his cultivars, is everywhere.
Oh.
Including my front yard where they will not die.
Yes.
Yeah, I spent a decade fighting them in Oregon. They are so prolific. Delicious, but prolific. Kill everything else in the neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my mouth is still open. Like that was something that someone intentionally spread around.
Yeah. He created 800 different strains of plants over his career.
Wow.
Wow.
Luther Burbank, huh? He just made the list.
Let's go down a little bit, ways.
How does... Never mind. How does one make a new fruit? You just pollinate the flowers yourself?
Yep. You do a lot of crossbreeding with little paint brushes and see what you get. He's also responsible for the Shasta daisy, a couple varieties of nectarine. One of the major russet potatoes is the russet Burbank potato.
And that's legal?
Yeah. This is how most things you eat get created.
Is there like a brassica that gave rise to broccoli and cauliflower and like 5 other kinds of greens?
Oh yeah, all of those are genetically one plant. They're just different cultivars.
What is
one of the
sorry?
main
Broccoli, cauliflower.
Yeah.
They're the
Brussels
cruciferous. Gets me every time. Cruciferous. Cabbage is in that family.
It also is oilseed. So all of those are Brassica oleracea. And that's, it's broccoli, it's cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, oilseed, just different cultivars of that one plant species.
Wow.
Do you guys have favorite vegetables?
eggplant.
Ooh, yummy.
Favorite vegetable? Snap peas. They're big on my list.
Those are good. Do you grow them yourself?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm currently missing snap pea season.
Yeah. Oh, no.
My spouse keeps sending me pictures of harvests of snap peas that he's enjoying and I am not.
Can you freeze them and have them later, or not so snappy and fresh?
Not so snappy and fresh. There'll probably
Yeah.
still be some when I get back. We usually just keep the plants going as long as we can.
Sure, yeah. Chanel, you got a favorite vegetable?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called in English, but in Marathi we call it tondli, and it's like this little gourd that we cut up and cook, and it's super yummy.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it like a sweet potato, starchy, or very mild in flavor?
It has a peculiar flavor. I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to, but I just have no idea what to compare it to. Wait. I don't know. What would you compare this to?
Japanese bitter melon.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good. It doesn't taste like any other vegetable I've had.
Yeah.
And, I eat it almost every night, and I'm actually missing that right now a bunch. It's so good.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
Oni, what about you?
I don't know if I have a favorite vegetable. I know that I am somewhat a vegetarian and I must eat vegetables, but I don't know if I have a favorite one.
Sounds like you mostly tolerate vegetables.
Yeah, pretty much.
Roger.
Maybe green beans.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I feel like that's an easy vegetable that I'll just like eat, and I like it.
Yeah.
Raw carrots.
Raw carrots?
Yeah,
Full size, baby size, does it matter?
I like the baby carrots.
Colorful or orange?
Colorful?
Yeah, you know you can get like the white and the purple ones.
Yeah. Broad cuts.
What magic is this?
Yeah, there's like multicolored carrots.
Oh yeah, multicolored, party color carrots are fantastic.
Yeah, it's like Mardi Gras colored.
They taste
Believe
way
I've only
better.
had the orange.
Well, they taste the same, but they're, it's, you know, it makes you feel like, you're like, look at all this variety. I am plentiful, look at my harvest.
Just my 5 fruits and vegetable helping of the day kind of deal. That, yeah, I'm being.
Carrots, good for your eyes, they say.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's sort of why I started eating them. I was like, wow, I spent so much time in front of screens, I can't like see stars anymore outside.
Aw.
No.
It is actually possible to eat so many carrots that your skin will turn orange.
What?
Impossible or possible?
Possible.
Possible. Well,
yes.
got a new goal there, Tim. Get to
I
chomping.
mean, I don't really tan, so I might as well just go orange, right? So
I had a roommate in college that did that. He started like freaking out one day. He's like, oh my God, my skin is like orange. I'm like, dude, you've been eating carrots for the last 3 days, like nonstop. He's like, no, that's not a thing. I'm like, yeah, no, it's a thing.
Yeah.
You've just demonstrated it.
It's like you eat it so much you'll turn into it.
Yeah.
Jessica, you have a favorite vegetable?
I was trying to figure that out as you guys are going around the room. No, I kind of like vegetables all the same. Obviously,
Very
that does
diplomatic.
That does not satisfy family.
Doesn't want to offend the broccoli community.
So like you could eat a celery and eat a broccoli and be like, yeah, it's the same experience.
I mean, I guess I would choose broccoli over celery, but
So celery's at the bottom of the list.
Okay.
And everything else is at the top.
somewhere around those lines, yeah. I don't know, because then my brain started going into the question of what is vegetable, because things that I would consider vegetables, like bell peppers, are actually fruits. So like those don't
genetics, yeah.
So that actually isn't like part of this. But I would probably choose like grilled bell pepper, but that is, you know, kind of like stereotypically done as vegetables, but it's actually fruit. Anyway, so I went through this internal debate and I decided to say nothing until now.
The definition of a fruit is the swollen ovary of a flower, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what a bell pepper is then? Is the ovary of a flower.
Yes, anything with like seeds in it. So I think actually an eggplant is also considered a fruit, hey?
It is. So is pizza, according to the government.
Pizza.
And I believe all things like cucumbers and all of those are
Tomatoes.
technically the fruit bodies of the plants.
And I've been told this, but I can't back it up. But is a banana a berry? Somebody got me in line on a ship and wouldn't stop trying to convince me that it was. And I just put up my hands. But I'm not sure what the basis for the argument was. Chris, do you have a favorite vegetables?
I don't know. I really like green beans.
Oh, you and Oni.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
See?
green
Green
bean
bean
buddies.
team.
Yeah.
Connections.
Surprised nobody said cucumbers since we are the sea pickles, but you know, it's fine.
Eh. Land cucumbers are okay.
Lamb cucumbers?
Land cucumbers
Land,
are
Raj.
okay. I think it's important to specify.
Thought you said lamb like a verb, lambed.
Yeah. No.
Gross. Well, mine is twofold. I love cabbage. I love kapusta. I love it with my whole heart. I once knew a guy named Carl Kapusta, and I said, is he single? 'Cause and then the other thing I really like that I only just discovered was I really like parsnips, which I didn't know what they tasted like, but my last name means parsnip. And turns out they look like carrots, but they taste like... Have you guys ever had parsnips? Or are you...
Yeah, the sweeter.
They're like a carrot crossed with like a Yukon Gold potato almost.
But with like a little bit of like a
Yeah.
freshness to them, no? Like,
Yeah, like a little acid.
yeah, like not so close to ginger, right? Because it's not that snappy.
Yeah.
But it does have that little something for your sinus.
Have you ever fried parsnip chips?
Yeah, I make baked parsnip with red onions and maple syrup and like herbs.
Nice.
Oh God.
I'm with you on the cabbage. That's actually a close second for me behind snap peas.
One of my favorite cabbage dishes is just
I got 3 beams here.
fried mustard seeds, cabbage, turmeric. So
80
good.
meters off.
We eat a lot of, we make and eat both a lot of kimchi and sauerkraut.
I love kimchi.
Ooh, kimchi is so good for you. And sour, the fermented cabbage is so good for you.
All right, my favorite thing to do with cabbage is to get a traditional European cabbage and cut it into quarters and get another one and get a batch of sauerkraut going, and then take the quarters of the whole cabbage and put them in the lacto-ferment for 2 days, so they just start to ferment a little, and then pull those out and put them in a screaming hot cast iron pan so they caramelize, and then baste them with butter as they finish cooking. It's delicious.
Sounds good.
That sounds
Sounds
great.
good.
Post-cruise party at Meredith.
Coming up on the bottom.
Yeah, almost.
Okay, so I'll stop at 60 meters when we get there.
Makes my brain hurt that you have an altimeter and mine just bounces. I'll just look at our delta and be like, yeah, I should be at the same place. Okay, I'll stop.
Roger. Get set up on our Z-bias. All right, I'm going to come towards you, and I think you're going to want to go through the south, I think like 180
Sure.
for the 6A route.
And we're going towards 075-ish?
Yeah.
Raj. Okay, 075 acquired.
Roger.
There you are.
Interested to see if this layback is Wasn't pulling on us too hard, so it seems like it's probably the current.
I'll come down a little.
Yep. Yeah, we can start heading down.
Sweet. Where are you?
I think Chris is working on that part.
Roger.
Why do I not have a DVL reset button? Oh, right. Because I have to enable it. There we go.
We got bottom in sight.
Roger.
You can keep coming down if you want there, Kylie. All right, and we are there. Let me get a little bit in front of you here. Okay. Kylie, you want to grab out that arm there and we'll do a white balance?
Sure.
All right.
Where's the lights?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like maybe that just the iris is a wee bit down right now too. So it looks like you're good, maybe a little bit more outward. Yeah. I'm just looking at the shadows on the other tapes, you know what I mean?
That good?
You're a little bit more in.
I'll take whatever direction. I just don't know how much light is enough light.
Yeah. Go ahead and come in a bit. And then
Because
watch
it seems
yours.
like it gets darker, yeah?
Yeah, it's darker. Oh, yeah, let's try it there.
Okay, I'm halted.
All right.
Roger.
Confirming that the lasers on the porch lights are off.
Correct. Both are
Okay.
off.
I'm going to zoom in.
Sure.
Okay.
I want to do a little bump left here, guys, and then get. I don't think. Or if you want to bring the arm, we'll leave it, Kylie.
Yeah. You want out further?
No, I think you're good just to get it centered up in the frame here.
Oh. I mean,
So
that's center, yeah?
yeah, that's good. Go ahead and push on in a bit more there.
That's all the way in.
Right. Okay, good.
Okay. Make the focus. Okay, here comes the black balance. And the white balance. Okay, let's take a look. I'm gonna zoom out.
Sure.
Seems a little pink.
Yeah, it does seem a little pink.
What do you think?
Yeah, looking at my display here. Is there any way you could bring the arm in a little bit more so I could get a little more of the white
Yeah.
to fill the screen?
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe you put your wrist the other way, Kylie.
Oh, Dave says we can turn the porch light on too.
okay.
Oh, Raj.
Well, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Look at all the light. Okay. So I guess just
Yeah,
push it wherever.
yeah. Let's bring the arm in closer, please, so that we can.
Fill the screen.
Yeah, fill the screen.
Roger.
Hold on a second.
Should be good there. Nice. Go ahead and push on in there again. I want to center up on the camera because I think you have a good lighting there.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. All right, go ahead and push on in there again.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, here comes the black balance. And the white balance. All right. Let's see what we got. Looks much happier.
Yeah, looks good.
Happy with that there?
I am.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
No problem.
So what are we expecting to find down here? Maybe Meredith and Kevin, you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think right off the bat we're going to be in a sandy flat for a short period of time. Then we're going to start up a fairly steep volcanic cone, so I expect to see some volcanic rocks. We'll probably be back on a somewhat sandy flat. Then we're going to go up a large, probably slump barrier, so like a gigantic boulder, if you will. And then I'm hoping to see a 400-meter high cliff, which will be interesting.
Cool.
So this dive, we'll probably just see, hopefully, the volcano.
Yeah, we're hoping to find some of the deeper coral species that we saw a little of yesterday, but in higher abundances, and possibly some deeper varieties that we did not encounter yesterday because we were diving relatively shallow.
All right, guys,
All
we good?
Ready to roll?
I believe we are.
Yep, great.
Little brighter?
Rider.
Bridge nav, 30 meters, 075.
Oh, Kylie on Atalanta.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, before you get up, can you zoom? There are little pits right here with little, I think, worms or something. I just want to see if you can see anything if you zoom on it.
There.
Sure, more like that, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good, and push on in there, please. Center screen on the pits.
Yeah, I obviously don't know what it is, but all these little holes have kind of those little sticks sticking out of it.
Oh, the sticks is what you're going for.
This little, like, stick thing here. Oops.
Sorry, stand by.
Huh.
Neat.
I don't know what that is.
There looks like a little snail trail. It could be there's a species of snail that puts its little proboscis out of the mud.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's possibly what it is.
Proboscis?
Yeah, just like little forward-facing chemosensing appendage.
Oh,
Do you want to show me the map real quick on the dive track for today?
Oh, God.
That's pretty far.
Yeah.
Okay, so the total distance is going to be how many kilometers?
10 kilometers.
Okay, and we have about 24 hours for this dive.
20? I think 20.
20. So maybe we'll do faster across the sandy flats. Is that all right with you, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull wide, please.
Well, we're not going to be.
I mean, it should be really short. Well, actually, I don't know.
Okay.
50 meters before it goes up.
Roger.
Not a lot here on the surface. I mean, it seems like maybe there's a lot going on slightly below the surface of the.
Yeah, there's no real ripples or anything here, so we're probably in a fairly low current, I'm guessing. Can you zoom on that little
Pattern.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's got bubbles coming out of it. I think. Or is it just the lasers being disturbed?
I think that's just the lasers getting some sediment.
Yeah.
It looks almost like a
Go ahead
sea
and
star
push on
print
there,
or
please.
something.
Are there echinoderms that bury
Right.
themselves?
There are some that bury themselves. It would not surprise me if there's a sea star underneath that.
Ah,
There's also a sponge here.
Yep, that's just the old base of a fiberoptic sponge.
Go ahead and push on in there, please.
fiber optic sponges, famous for their internet connectivity.
That's
Is
where
that-
it comes from.
Is that why the chat is slow to load? There's not enough of them down there alive.
Pull wide, please.
Yeah, seems to be a lot of bioturbation is the geologic term for critters messing up the sediment strata
Hmm.
by digging into it.
Bridge nav, 30 meters, 075.
Darn critters.
It's interesting about turbidation is you can make burrows that have localized anoxic conditions, and sometimes you can get pyrite and gypsum precipitating in like little burrows from the seawater.
I'm going to do a quick gauge check.
Sure thing.
Here's a question in the chat. What is the distance between the two green laser points?
10 centimeters.
10 centimeters, yes.
There's another one of those patterns there, hey?
Yeah, I've seen a few now. I still see these little pits with the little sticks coming out of them.
This could be, yeah, they could be gastropods or they could be worm tubes.
Hmm.
There's a sponge.
Go ahead and push it on there, please.
Interesting. Is that a fiber optic sponge?
That is a fiber optic sponge.
Is it healthy, or is it that normally that
That
color?
one actually looks pretty healthy. Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm a little wide. That's good there.
Looks like it has a little haircut.
How
Oh,
can you
lasers
tell
off?
it's a
Sure.
fiberoptic sponge?
I'm looking at that stalk that it's growing on. So those are these really long glass fibers that it uses to anchor itself to the sediment.
Pull away, please.
And they are actually one of the strongest substances known in nature.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. For the tensile stress, you mean, or?
And that's one of the reasons why the rest of the sponge is gone, and that's those fiber clumps are the last things left.
Very interesting.
Oh, now my brain is just picking up that star pattern over and over and over again.
As soon as, it's one of those things we call in geology and probably other fields, the third eye, where as soon as you learn about a structure and see what it means, you start seeing it everywhere.
Yeah. For me, pillow lavas. Like, that's a pillow lava. That's a pillow lava. That's radial fracturing. That's a columnar basalt.
Yeah, it's good.
But if you said, what's a columnar basalt, and there was no thing to point at, I would not have words to describe it.
You know, it's that thing that looks like a columnar basalt.
Yeah.
You're watching this. You have the internet.
So someone in the chat is wondering, what are the fiber optic sponges? What are their predators and what do they eat?
So the sponges themselves are filter feeders. They will be just
Yes,
pumping
please.
water
You make
through
them like
their
50
system
meters
and
for the
collecting
plant
this
sandy.
marine snow that we've seen
Bridge
trickling
nav,
down.
50 meters, 075.
And the as for predators on the sponge, there are some sea stars that will predate on them, but not a lot of other things eat sponges. There, yeah, some gastropods and some sea stars would be their main predators.
Another question in the chat. With the wide range of depth explored for this dive, where do you expect to find the most life?
I'm going to guess the 400-meter cliff. It's shallower part of this dive, and it's going to give some steep rocky surface that you can kind of corals and sponges can latch onto easier. So that'll be my estimate. And it also depends on life. I assume we'll see a lot of sea pens towards the end of the dive, like we did yesterday. There are a few like eel or eel-like fish that have just been watching us from a distance. There's one.
Believe that is a halosaur.
Go ahead and push on there, please.
It's pretty. So a distinctly different colored head is kind of a halosaur-like trait? Question mark.
Can you
Yeah.
repeat the question?
Oh, sorry. Is having a distinctly colored head a trait for the halosaur?
I believe
Hold on, please.
so. And then they also, I mean, I just recognize them on site. I don't actually know their traits. Not a fish specialist.
Yeah, that one looked a little longer than the ones we've seen.
Yeah, yesterday in the shallow areas, you got to see more variety of fish structures. In the deep sea, they're pretty much all eel-like in their morphology. Oh.
That fish looked like it fell and got super embarrassed and then ran away.
Relatable.
Relatable. Another question in the chat related to the fiberoptic sponges. Why are they not more common if their predators seem to be few?
It's regional, so they'll have a very patchy distribution. So there, you can see from all the bases of them we're seeing around here that there probably was a whole field of them here at one point. And for whatever reason, they have kind of died off in this location. But yeah, you can get into areas where you'll have just what looks like a field of them. It's like being in a field of crazy tulips. So much like many things on the seafloor, it's just a matter of patchy distribution.
There's a worm trail right there on the left.
So there's a question in the chat about the whalebone that we were able to bring up on one of our other dives. Did we learn anything more about that whalebone that we saw, that we sampled?
Oh, it's fully crusted with iron manganese. It's cool looking. I think that's about as far as we got. So no one on board's a whale expert, so someone will look at it.
Yeah, we've collected it so someone can take a look at the fossil. It is very well encrusted with ferromanganese.
It's been down there for a while. Long, long time.
So you all will just dry it out. So it's probably dried out already.
Yeah, we dried it out. We have it in a safe spot so it doesn't break. And then it will be shipped to the repository where people can request it or look at it.
Cool.
Umbaloula.
Hey, the first of the dive.
Beautiful.
Go ahead and push on in there, please.
No sclerites. Right?
Yep, no sclerites.
No sclerites. No. Sclerites are not shells. Scales. Scales.
They are just little, basically sand grains that octocorals use to give themselves structure.
in funny shapes. Yeah.
Yeah, in funny shapes.
Hooks.
They can be plates. They can be hooks. They can be a form called clubs or thorn scales. They come in all different shapes.
Okay.
All right, full wide, please.
No armored. Got it. No armor on the umbaloula. No sand armor. How does a octocoral make sclerites?
They secrete them.
Oh, so it's like sand, but it's not from sand.
Yeah, it's like sand. It's not from sand. So they secrete them themselves. And actually in some areas, like if you're on a tropical beach, because all octocorals make these, even the shallow water ones. So if you go through sand on a tropical beach under a microscope, some of it will be made up of coral sclerites.
And you can tell the difference under a microscope?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, when an echinoderm eats a coral, does it just spit them out like sunflower seeds, or?
I imagine that it does, but I'm not really sure. I don't know that anyone has gone looking for casts from, say, the stars that eat corals, but I imagine that, yes, they would spit them out. That's what a lot of the really nice fine-grained sand beaches are made up of, the waste from parrotfish that eat stony coral.
Ah, that's crazy. You got a little
Go ahead and
shrimp
start
friend.
using there, please.
An intact fiberoptic sponge.
Yep.
Sorry about the bumpiness there.
Did the shrimp just hide behind the sponge?
I think it went
I
off
would if I
camera,
were the
but
shrimp.
Oh, okay.
wouldn't put it past it.
All right, full wide, please.
Here's another question in the chat. How do fish prevent themselves from getting eaten while sleeping?
I don't know about the fish in this region, but I can speak to the rockfish on the west coast and some reef fish. A lot of them will go down into the rocks around where they hang out during the day, and some of them will secrete kind of a mucus nest around themselves that helps trap their kind of chemical signals that they put out into the water and make them somewhat more invisible to predators.
Cool.
Also a contributor to marine snow, mucus nests.
Yes, also a contributor to marine snow, mucus nests.
Go ahead and push on in there, please.
This one's got a feather star sitting on it.
Yeah.
And a little, what's in the sand?
What kind of tiny crustacean?
Very tiny.
Can't really tell. Can't make it out.
Got any more zoom there? We can check this guy out a little bit. Okay, go ahead and come a little wide, please. Full wide. That's not my camera, but
I'm going to do one more 50-meter move, and then I think we should probably slow it down. We're going to start getting into steeper contours.
sure.
Bridge nav, 50 meters, 075.
The sponges that we're seeing, are they considered glass sponges?
Yeah, these are all a type of glass sponge.
Do you know if like the structure of a fiber optic cable were like inspired by this coral, or if there's any relation or anything?
I don't think so. I know there, well, I thought there was some research going on into like the biomaterials that the stalk is made out of for things like strengthening fiber optics, but fiber optics were developed independently of these sponges.
Okay, cool.
I see a couple more of those patterns in the sand.
I've
Yeah.
been seeing tons of them, and I'm actually wondering if it's some kind of burrow that's like
Is it worth
pumping
poking
water.
at one of them?
Yeah, do you guys want to look at another one?
Sure.
Yeah, let's poke one. See what happens.
Poke one.
Knock on the door. It's a clearance house. We have a big check.
Let's center up on this guy here. Where'd it go? Maybe porch is not our friend for this.
Porch is bright. You want it off?
Yeah.
Raj.
So I think that was it here, center screen. Go ahead and push out in there, center screen.
I mean, it looks like a cast of a ecinoderm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were joking about the poking it, right? We don't usually.
I mean, I'm down, but if you don't want to, that's fine.
Do
I'm a
it.
geologist here. I shouldn't be calling the biology shots.
Usually we aren't supposed to poke things unless we're picking
Okay.
It
them
may
up.
just be sand.
Go and come a little wide there.
We could take a sediment core right down the center.
Oh yeah, we can poke it.
Nudge.
No, we don't have to poke it. It's fine.
No. I'm like at a dilemma right now. Usually we just don't poke. Okay.
Bridge
Pull
nav, hold
wide.
position.
No, you can keep it going.
Oh.
We won't
Yeah,
be
yeah,
here
Belay
long.
that bridge. You can keep the move in.
I'm just,
Pull
yeah.
wide.
We don't need to poke anything. No one in chat is calling for a poke, so.
All right.
I think we'll see more if they change their minds.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Kylie.
Just give me a second.
Oh, Reg.
There are some deep sea animals that set up these burrow systems that allow water circulation to go through.
Can you zoom in?
So I'm kind of wondering if that might be what these are.
I'm gonna do a little tilt up. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try raking it back. I think it's a sediment.
Huh.
All right. Go
Yeah.
ahead and move the
If
cloud.
there's something in there, it's pretty deep.
Oh yeah, so you can see the holes right behind. So those are going to be channels. This is some sort of burrow,
Oh.
and they're pumping water through that.
That's cool.
All right. We'll let the sediment clear, and then we'll take a look.
zoom in a little tighter if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so see those vertical lines? I think those are the, like the little star-shaped pattern. And so I think it's some sort of burrow, possibly a worm or something, and that's probably pumping water through bringing water in and then pumping through those channels.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, full wide, please. I'll push out ahead here.
Bridge nav 50075.
That's a great poke.
Thanks. Thanks for noticing. So if there is something down there, I will just be stirring it awake. I'll just say, it's time to wake up, little thing.
It's no different than a fish face planting into it.
Right,
Which
exactly.
they seem to do a lot.
Oh, look at them all.
You can just see all of them. There's everywhere.
Yesterday on the other dive, we saw some fish kind of messing with the sediment, this like weird pattern. Do you think whatever's hiding under the sediment, they're hiding away from fish predators as well?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be hiding from predators. This is just a nice secure place to live.
Live in a little hobbit hole.
Here's a question in the chat. How can you tell what is or isn't an eel? So I guess what defining features separate a fish, a different
0.3.
fish from an eel?
Ooh, that I don't know, because you can have fish that are just eel-like, but they are not true eels. So hopefully Ken Sulak will chime in and let us know what the difference is.
Yeah, if you look at a bunch of eels versus eel-like fish, they're very similar. I'm sure there's some distinct characteristics, but it's not super obvious. Looks like the dorsal fin might be one of them, but I don't know.
That's how. For some reason,
The tilt is worse than normal, just FYI. Yeah. No, it's like not moving until it does. Like you click it, click it, click it, nothing, and then eventually it does maybe go. So I don't want to get stuck too high or too low, so I'll just sort of leave it unless there's time to like play with it when we're like seated and I can, I won't chase you, but if we're positioned right on top of each other, I would have time to, I think, sort it out. You think there was 2 or 3 glitches on the mini Zeus?
I had a timestamp on that if you wanted.
Okay.
I had 23:13:45 for the second one. I think I only saw the second one. About.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
There's a big shrimp. Can we have a zoom on the desperately trying to escape shrimp?
Raj.
And now he's coming for us.
Go ahead and push on in there or start using.
Guys,
With
long
the fuzzy
whiskers,
feet again.
never fails to make Chanel giggle.
That's not fair, you guys. Come on.
We can go in tighter if we want. Go ahead and push on in there tighter. This will hold her over for a while.
I'm just wondering why it makes you laugh.
I love
It's very silly.
Oh, they faked us out.
The feet.
Oh, the little four. Yeah, the actual legs that are
Yeah, it's
doing a little dance.
I'll
It's
turn
so
the porch here, it might
graceful.
blow it out. We have lost Chanel. All right, full wide, please.
I mean, I am entertained as well. They're very cool.
Bridge nav, 650 meters, 075.
He sounds surprised.
Yeah, it was the first big move of the thing, so
Yeah,
it's good that he checks.
yeah, that's true. Oh, this looks different.
Debris.
Yeah, it looks like debris. Let's see. Tin can, maybe?
Go ahead and push on in there again, please. Sorry. Can. Make it a little closer.
Tennis ball. No, maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like a can of aerosol.
Yeah.
Oh, and like maybe some
Yeah,
foam
somewhere
or
zoom
something
there.
that came out of it once it got to
I think
depth.
it might be a sponge growing on it, though.
You think so?
There's a little
Underneath.
anemone on it. Or is that a coral?
I think that's an anemone. But yeah, that looks like an aerosol can.
But like the yellow bit?
Maybe it's the inside reacting with seawater, just kind of
Yeah.
exploding.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a can of spray foam.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go with canned cheese.
Maybe this.
Ew.
Full wide, please.
Aged. Never mind. Forget it.
Aged cheese.
Aged, and brined and aged for decades.
Briny.
Yep.
Briny aged cheese.
Ooh, a rock.
Sweet, now we're getting into rocks.
Oh.
And look at all those little guys riding that rock. All right, we got some stalk sponges.
Yep. Got some corals.
Yeah. Can we zoom on the corals when you get a chance?
Sure.
These are candelabra ones.
Yeah, I can't tell from this distance. I think they're primnoids.
Roger.
Let's see. Let's go for this one over here. Go ahead and push on in there, please. You want to on the porch there, Kylie?
Yeah.
Are the singular stalked ones?
Go ahead and push
Those
on
are
more.
definitely primnoids. And then these ones,
Almost look like black holes.
yeah, this is a primnoid too.
Cool.
Are these zoanthids on the bottom right?
Yeah, those are zoanthids growing on the bottom right.
Go ahead and come partial wide, please.
I think this is narella. A little
All right.
sponge.
Photo bomb.
Yeah. We can just hold this zoom and then we'll just pan around the rock, I think.
Yeah, bunch of little narella.
Crinoid on the stalk.
These stalked sponges. And there's one bamboo whip in the background.
All right, go ahead
On
and
this
come
guy,
forward,
looks like
please.
as
And
well.
one little, that's umbelapathes.
A lot of diversity on that one tiny rock.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
A lot of density per capita, or does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, technically, is it a coral garden? Because there's more than 3.8 sponges per square feet.
It's a coral mini garden.
Coral flower pot.
So here's a question about the patterns we were seeing in the sand. Given the size of the burrows and number of indentations, do you think it's a colony of worms or a single worm creating the rings?
I think it's probably a single individual creating those structures. I'm not 100% certain it's a worm. I've been digging online, but worms are something you would commonly find in the sediment like that, but there are some other invertebrates that burrow.
Very nice, well-defined ripple marks on this very steep slope.
There is not a hard substrate for the whole span of this.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we're just starting to get into the tighter contours, so hopefully it picks up.
Yeah.
What we should request is when they hit waypoint 2, if they're going to do a jump off, they should pull up and do a 360 orbit scan. See if we can get the whole little volcanic cone. Actually, it's too big, I think.
How big across is the top of the cone?
150 meters? Oh, just the top. So the whole cone is how much? There's a rock. Is it? No, just more ripples. Just got dark in the corner.
It's going to be really disappointing if this just turns out to be steep mud all the way up.
Yeah.
It'll be an impressive sand pile.
It's true.
So
Is a sand pile underwater a dune or an R?
None of us has a distinct shape. So dunes have like a steep laywood side and a shallow other side.
The more you know.
So a cone technically wouldn't be a dune.
So do the ripples in the sand run parallel